All right, what we have here, we're at the Village Links here. Just got done with Bill. And Bill, what you were doing is you were slowing down through the shot. Everything else looked pretty good. But going through the fundamentals of the sand shot, what you want to do in a regular shot is you need acceleration because the force of the sand makes the ball go out. You don't want to hit the ball first unless you're on like a 90-yard shot. So when you're hitting shots around the green, you have a leading edge called your bounce on the club. The bounce is what enters the sand, and then that goes under the ball. The sand forces the ball out. So you want to think about that you're hitting sand and splashing sand onto the green. So the way you go about doing that with acceleration, because the biggest problem I see is a lot of people have the ball position in the wrong spot, too far back, and the other problem is that they don't accelerate because they're afraid they're going to get too close to their ball and they're going to scull it over, so they decelerate or they go too steep into the sand. Too steep meaning and stopping because it's going too steep, and then obviously it's hard for the club to get through the sand. So what you have to do is you have to get used to swinging hard and having a full swing with some hand speed, but not be afraid that it's going to go over the green. All right, so the ball position for the sand shot, and this is just a regular shot with about 15 feet of green, 20 feet of green to work with, is you have a slightly open stance. It allows you to see the line better. Your hips are open. And then you open the face. If you have a 56 to 60 degree somewhere in there, then you don't have to open as much of the 60 degree, but you open the face, then you regrip it, and the ball position is in the front of your stance. Okay, that's going to allow the club to come in and enter underneath. Okay, and like I said before, you're going to hit it with the leading edge, and it's going to go under. So go ahead, take your stance slightly open, let the club face be open, and as you take it back, you're going to accelerate and get a feel for splashing the sand, making a full swing, and then you have to work on how close to get to the ball. If someone asked me how close to get to the ball, I would say maybe 2 inches, maybe 1.5 inches. You have to get a feel for it. A lot of tour players will get really close to the ball because they've hit so many sand shots. But if you hit it over the green or skull it over the green, obviously you have to hit a little bit further behind the ball. If you leave in the bunker or dig too deep, you have to hit a little closer to the ball. So you figure that out on your own. So the key though is open face, ball in the front of your stance, and then on your takeaway, you don't really need to take it outside, but you need to let the wrist hinge a little bit, and that'll get the club going on a steeper motion so you can go down through the ball. So from this view, the club's going to come up a little bit. You know, on your regular swing, you might come out a little here. That's shallow, so you want to go nice and steep. Okay, so from this view, as we're hitting the shot, splash the sand on the green, open the face. Okay, that one worked out well. I maybe hit a little bit behind it too much. You can tell by the sound, it still worked out okay. So maybe I get a little closer to it. And the thing is, you just got to make friends with your sand wedge. You got to get in here and hit shots. Open face, set up, hinge early, and go ahead and hit it out, okay? But the key is, like I said, open face, ball in the front of your stance, and then try and get the feel of how much sand to take without decelerating through the ball. Now, if you have a buried lie, okay, buried lie is a fried egg or it's down deep. A lot of people will close the face on this lie, okay? Closing the face on this, all that's going to do is create more overspin, okay? The key is getting the blade of the club and the club underneath the ball and getting it out. So a lot of the tour players will hit this actually with a square face or even open face. You play it back in the stance a little bit, but you really make sure that the club gets underneath the ball, and that'll force the ball out. But because there's no chance for you to get way under it, you won't come out with a lot of spin. It's going to come out with overspin, so you have to play for more rollout on the shot, even if that means hitting it in the fringe of the green. So you'd be back here. Your follow through is going to be a little shorter because the sand is going to hold your follow through. Okay, that one worked out just right. Try these tips and you'll get better.